focus on the positives. And she always stressed a couple of things. One of them was, find your happiness. So the quote that you mentioned earlier, I completely agree with. It's about looking at things from a different perspective, not necessarily always seeing new sights. The seeing new sights, in my opinion, is that kind of immediate gratification thing that we know so well here in the States, unfortunately. But I realized that there was no escaping this. There was nothing that was going to fill that void, and that I had to learn how to deal with this. So I knew, okay, I'm gonna ultimately, my long-term goal is to work for my happiness. And I realized that my mom had always taught me the 3 F's: faith, family, and friends. And I realized that if I could adequately place those in my life, and adequately rely on those in my life, that I could in fact learn how to live without my mom being physically present in the way that she was. I think that a lot of people tell you with death that it gets easier. That really has not been my experience. It's gotten harder and harder and harder. But one's ability to cope, I think, is what improves if you put effort into it. So as time has gone on, it's getting harder because I always say for a while. I mean, if I live a normal life with a normal length, I'm getting further and further right now away from seeing my mom, and then there will be a point where it'll be closer and closer. So that's hard, but I look at it as this is an opportunity to have my mom with me everywhere. So when my brothers and my father convinced me to go back and finish my study abroad experience in Spain, I had been home for 2 weeks. The whole time I was there, I really wasn't thinking about going back. But they said, it's what your mom would want, and it's what we want. And finally I said, okay, I'll do it. And I realized going back that, yeah, I didn't have my family right there with me. I luckily had 2 very good friends that I knew that I would be able to count on. But I realized that I had a family and a group of friends that were just incredible, that would check up on me in other ways. They would send me Facebook messages and emails, and they would talk with me on Skype at any moment. They would send me text messages, all of these things. And the best part about it was when I went back to Spain and I was traveling around, I had this feeling that I was taking my mom with me everywhere I went. My mom had only been to France before. She went when she was in high school. And I had always hoped that we would get to go abroad sometime. And then I thought, well, here we are.
This just happened about a year ago, right now, right?
Yeah, it's been about a year.
About a year. So would you mind sharing with us?
Sure, I'd love to. Gotta get more water though. All this tearing up doesn't help the vocals.
shepherd you in his eternity.
you're soaring over the sunset to a new sunrise. I cannot count how many tears I've cried, and still I know I'll find my way in life. I won't forget those things you taught to me. I'll keep moving forward, taking the pieces of you with me. Well, you're soaring over the sunset, and you're soaring over the sunset to a new sunrise. Soar on, soar on, soar on, soar on, go higher than you've ever gone before. 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 You're soaring over the sunset, and you're soaring over the sunset. You're soaring over the sunset to a new sunrise. To a new sunrise. To a new sunrise.
I have water now. All right, when things get too heavy, bring out the wheelchair guy. Because my friend Paul is always good for a good laugh, and that even speaks volumes. I have a Japanese proverb in my office that says, fall 7 times, get up 8, and that's Paul Irway. And you probably have read in your program a little bit about his bio. So I'm going to turn it over to Paul and him tell you his amazing story.
I don't know, this is a tough act to follow. I can't sing, I can't dance, can't even do stand-up. But anyways, I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so I don't have a Kentucky accent, so excuse me for that. But I grew up in Pennsylvania, lived backwoods, grew up on a farm. And my parents said I started riding horses when I was 4 or 5, started showing when I was 11. Trained my own horses at 16. I went on to college for horses, right? I lived my dream, living it up. But when I went to college, I didn't do the traditional college. I apprenticed at one of the top training stations in the nation in New York, and for reining horses. And I'd get up at 5 and feed horses, then be back out riding at 6 until classes started. Then after classes, at the end of the day, be back riding again until like 11 o'clock at night and stuff. And I was living that dream, doing what I wanted to do. You know, when you have that passion, that goal, that's something you want to really strive for. It doesn't matter the hours it takes, the time you put into it and everything, right? So I'm training. And then it's the weekend before graduating from college. It's Friday night, you know, we're graduating, so let's go on a double date. And my friend doesn't drink, so I let him drive. 1980, there's no seatbelt law. Slipped in the back seat, not wearing my seatbelt. And he didn't know the road. He came to the Y, and he started turning too late. We